Sellout is the new film from the Holden Brothers and has made its premiere at the Austin Film Festival with just a few more chances to see it in Austin before the end of the festival. So Josh and Nick join me now to unpack this special project. Hi guys, how are you both?
Doing well.
Great. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, I'm excited to get to know more about your film and this really cool project you've been working on. So let's start with this. Why don't you guys just give me a little taste of what Sellout is about?
Yeah, I would say Sellout is it's a story about a novelist trying to find his next novel, and he's really struggling, and he's kind of wondering about he's got an opportunity to sell out, and it's a comedy. But more than anything, it's really a meditation on authenticity, and he's really, running around in this crazy world. It's like, politically it's very heated. He's a single father. He's just really kind of afraid the world's ending, and so it's like kind of an existential comedy, and he's just trying to figure out, what if we're gonna be okay and what he can do about it.
Yeah, yeah. Beyond the kind of comedic aspect of the film, what I love that you guys have done with this is the writing of it, the kind of layers of what the character is experiencing within the film, from heartbreak to book writing to family dynamics to all these special kind of themes that are happening within the plot. So where did the inspiration for this film stem from for you all?
Partly we kind of wrote it in 2022 coming out of COVID. So it was, a lot of energy going on at the time then. And we were actually writing the movie about the 91 governor's race in Louisiana when the former KKK Grand Wizard almost won. So we were going back and forth and kind of writing that. And also, Nick's daughter was a big inspiration for it. She was younger and really talented. And then just, Nick trying to explain how the world works to her, at 10.
And my daughter was like, "Hey, Dad, I really want to be in one of those movies, and I want to do a scene with you, and I want to sing a song." And so I was like, "All right." She was like 7 when she asked me that. I was like, "Okay, like that's so adorable." And Josh and her, they play a lot of music together. So I'm like, "All right, let's make that happen." So that was a big driving point. And then also, how do we come to terms with we're from Louisiana, so some of our friends back home and having different political beliefs, and but yet they're like your brothers. How are you gonna like just kind of exploring that topic right there? There was a lot of inspiration for that.
Yeah, I like what you said there of almost like, how would you explain it to a child? Because I think that's something we think about a lot. The world is very complex and there's a lot happening. And
Right.
so it's like, if a child did ask a question, how would you explain that? And so I think it's cool that you all get to work together and bring your daughter into the mix. But with that too, what was it like working with your cast? You guys had a decent sized cast included in this film.
It was a dream because the way we set it up to shoot it, because I was the lead of the film, which let us have a lot more flexibility. So we'd shoot a few, like kind of one cast member was available because we worked with a lot of, pretty popular actors. One would be available, we'd work with them, they'd leave. The next one would come. So it was like every week was like a whole new, like starting all over with a new, and a lot of the cast members were friends of ours that have went on and had great careers. So we like just get to hang, and it was coming out of, one long after COVID too. So it's like we're all together again, everyone's hanging out. It was so much fun. We love our cast so much. It was
Yeah.
great. Yeah.
Yeah, it was fun too. We also had our mom in it, and Nick's daughter. So it was great. We got to mix, people who are not trained professional actors with trained professional actors and kind of getting to mix it all together, which is cool.
Yeah, that sounds like an awesome experience getting to include both, close, longtime close friends, as you mentioned, as well as family. Now, something I really love is that I understand that the film was mostly shot in Austin. I know that you all reside in Austin. So why was maybe location significant to you, and how would you say that maybe added to the story, if at all?
That's a good question because it's we shot. I mean, cost first. It's a lot of it's shot in set in Lafayette, but cost wise, you want to keep it in Austin because you have to travel with your whole cast to Lafayette. But really, I think on a deeper level, we were really asking ourselves like, okay, this is a new Austin after COVID. This is getting really expensive. Is this still our home? Like, what is going on here? The prices are outrageous. People are moving here like crazy. Do we still want to stay here? So I think it was also exploring that question. And ultimately, it was like, yes, this is still our home. We may have to move a little further south, but this is an amazing city, and with some of the harder things are coming some really beautiful things. And so I think we're kind of working through that in our film. So then in that instance, we're showcasing all these different just snippets of little places in Austin and kind of what it's like to live here. That's what one review was like. Yeah, these guys are really talking about what it's like to live in America in this day and age. Whereas a lot of films
Mm.
grasp these very grand topics, we're trying to really kind of like what's it like to be alive today? It's a very crazy time in a lot of ways. So like trying to capture that, the intensity, that's kind of why I think the locations are so fun to look at too.
Yeah,
There's
and
some beautiful
it
places.
was fun going back. We'll go back to Lafayette, and during that time, you kind of see, which we have in the film, but a lot of people were like, the big cities are kind of too expensive, so a lot of the younger artists were kind of staying home in the smaller towns, and so there's a cool progressive scene evolving down there in Lafayette, and it was fun for us to kind of rediscover that. We've been gone for like 20 years, so it's cool to see.
Yeah, yeah, I think that's really special, everything you just said. Now, that I kind of want to go a little deeper into that topic as well, because I think one of the greatest pieces of advice I ever received was being challenged to just make something where you are. You don't necessarily have to go to the top markets in the country to make something creative. You can make it right where you are. And so I'm curious for the both of you, why is local filmmaking or creating in the place you live, whether that's Austin or Lafayette, important to you all?
Great question. Um,
Yeah.
I mean, I think for us, it was, we're from Louisiana. We've been there 20 years and we're 18 years before we left and then 20 years. So they kind of both feel like our home to a certain extent. And so the film was a way for us to get to explore both of those homes. And, I just feel like we're always kind of questioning, where is home? Where is it supposed to be? And so, when you get
I
to
think
make a
what's
film
interesting
like
too,
that.
because it was like Austin at the time was getting so expensive. It's like, wow, do I really, do I want to live next to tech millionaires building three-story mansions in Zilker? Or, wait, do I want to go back to Lafayette where it's like, man, everyone is just super into Trump and this is not really what I am choosing. And I couldn't understand at the time. We've done a lot of research since and stuff. And so like I feel like it's not as heated as it was, but it was very much like, man, do I have a home anymore? And where does a person like this have a home? And I think this movie kind of like you work through it and you find how both places are kind of home. And you see some of the beauty in both things and also some of the stuff, there's the growing pains and just the way life is, which could be it's hard. Some things change and it's not necessarily for the better. But I think yeah, like I don't know if that answers your question, but yeah, that's kind of what we were exploring a lot in the film.
Yeah, no, I think that's important because I think that's something that resonates with a lot of people. It's like, do I stay where I am? Do I go? Can I create and make what I want to make? Do I still fit into what's happening and where I'm at, right? So I think that's really cool. Now, something I read that I thought was really interesting is you described working on Sellout as telling a story on your own terms. So can you expand on that for me a little more and kind of explain what that means to you and why you said that?
On our own terms. I don't know. I mean, I just feel like, we got to write it, direct it, edit it, like just get to tell it on a super, like a low budget film where
Mm.
there's no one else kind of telling us what we can and can't say to a
Yeah.
certain
And
extent.
we did it on our own terms, but it doesn't mean that was easy. It was extremely
Yeah.
hard, extremely patient, so much hard work, so much going out there, fundraising, asking people to do favors. We cut an entire like 10-minute teaser, which is like a full-on short film just to show people, to get people interested in working on the project. So I think by on our own terms, like we really decided, hey, we're gonna do this. We're gonna go all in on this and have no B plan and make this as good as we possibly can.
Mm.
And so there's a lot of risk and it's scary, but it was like we gotta go. I mean, this is what we've been working at forever. We really got to go out and make a great film because no one's banging on your door from Hollywood or anywhere and being like, hey, let's make a film. It's like if you want to do this, you really at some point have to just get that laser focus and say, all right, we're going. And luckily I have an amazing partner and Josh is like, all right, I'm in. So to have
Yeah,
us two, we
producers,
got some
Morgan and
other great
Jen.
producers
Yeah.
involved and we built a really amazing team. And that's what's so special about Austin. There is some people, some really intelligent, smart, creative people that you can team up with here, from producers to actors to crew members. And that's why I'm glad some of the like incentives are coming back and hopefully Austin that can like kind of come back up and we can be this town that's making a lot of cool stuff because we have the people and the talent here, you know?
Yeah, yeah. Well, I hope that serves as, an encouragement for other filmmakers out there because I think no matter what field you're in, when you get the ability to maybe do something on your own terms, it's I think it builds a lot of confidence, right? And it's very encouraging to just oneself. So I think it's really cool that you guys had that opportunity to describe it in that way. Now, in closing here, gentlemen, how can people watch, sell out, and then keep up with the film as well?
For we playing Fort Worth Lone Star Film Fest and then Southern Screeners in Lafayette.
Yeah, the Brothers Holden and then Sellout Movie. So you can follow us both there. I think we'll get probably distribution in the spring. So like you could also follow us there, and then at that point we might have some like theatrical screenings around here, and then maybe go to streaming at some point. So yeah, that's a good place to follow us.